What's up, Chris? Hello, Jeff. You're live at JTH Construction Studio. Why do I sound like I'm not loud at all? Like this. Is that better? Better. Can you guys hear me? Someone give me a thumbs up or a yes. You can hear me. And what's up, B? Can you guys hear me at all? Good, there's Jeff. All right. Real quick, let me get the sponsors real quick, and then we'll get into the meat of the show. It's going to be a little different show tonight. Once again, we are live at JTH Construction Studio. Get a hold of Joe for all your construction needs. 765-913-8599. American Basement Solution. How you doing, Brighton? Thank you, Jeff. American Basement Solutions, Mr. Larry Ralph Sr., 1-877-409-2837. I think they're still hiring if you're looking for a job. You couldn't work for a better human being on the planet. There's Lori. Hello, Lori. Hello, Chris. Hello, Punk. Fathom Real Estate, Teresa Messmer, 765-341-8911. Get a hold of Teresa for all your real estate needs. Wellspring, Mr. Bob Goodrum, 765-342-6661. They're doing a dedication to Tim, I believe, on the 17th. We will be there live. Wayman's Furniture, Appliance, and Mattress, 765-342-4339. Get a hold of Mark. Stid's Comfort System, 765-346-0195. Logan's Cosmos, 765-318-3388. Kids Talented. The Yard Barber, Andrew Payton, 765-318-4108. Andrew's always busy. Live Wire, Mr. Tommy Walls, 765-792-4012. Cannot thank him enough for what he does on Fall Foliage Festival Day, and we were down there all day. Hometown Nutrition, 765-315-0738. Protein shakes, boosted teas. I may be there in the morning. That's all I got. All right. Still got the bruise. I'm still healing. Real quick. We got our Christmas event coming up. I want to talk about that real quick, and then I want to get into some important things to me. December 3rd, down at the new venue, from 3 to 7:30 p.m. Event for the whole family. It's Bobby Helms Jingle Bell Rock Christmas Music Spectacular and Tree Lighting Event. Hello, Joe. Live music vendors, trackless trains, ice skating rink. It's coming in. It's going to be amazing. Cookie eating contest. I'm emceeing that. Pictures with Mr. and Mrs. Claus. Whoville characters. Buddy the Elf. It's going to be an awesome night. I think the rink is there for the second and the third. Don't quote me on that yet, but I believe it is. If somebody's on from the group, let me know. I should know that stuff. All right, so hello, Camilla. Started a group. There's Keaton. How you doing, Keat? Started a group 2 days ago. I'm gonna forget the name of it. Martinsville Citizens Cancer Research Group. And I wanted to get into this years ago with Mom and Dad because it just didn't make any sense. Even then, so many people in our community pass from cancer. Nobody dies of old age. Everybody dies of cancer. It isn't a witch hunt. It isn't a political move. I've been asked that. I've been asked not to do it. I'm going to, and I'm going to keep digging. I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm not trying to post blame. I want to know why. I want to know why Martinsville, in particular, Morgan County as a whole, so many people die of cancer. What's up, Ski? So many people die of cancer. We don't have a hospital, but we got a cancer research center. How many other donut counties around Indianapolis have a cancer research center? So, hello, Teresa. Hello, David. Hello, Jacob. Hello, Connie, Caitlin, Deborah. They're all popping in here now. So it is, I am passionate about it. I am still hurt, and I'm going to be hurt for a long time. Lost my mom, lost my dad, lost my brother. My nephew's had a tumor. I had thyroid issues. One of my older sisters has had thyroid issues. And my older brother, who lives in Florida now, but lived here up until he was 18 years old. I understand that, Keaton. He has prostate cancer he's being treated for now. That's odd for one family. What's unbelievably odd is I can talk to 30 families within a block of me that are going through the same thing, or have went through the same thing. So you can't tell me it's normal. You can't tell me this is how the rest of the country is. Morgan County, and I don't, Bethany will have to explain it. Morgan County per capita is the #1 cancer county in the state. It shouldn't be that way. If it is, I want to fix it. I don't want to point fingers. I don't want to post blame. I want to fix it. Because I've got kids, and someday they may move back to Martinsville, or you've got kids, or they've got kids. Do we all want to die of cancer? I don't. Hello, Teresa. So let's fix it. Let's find the problem. Was the water the problem? Was the water the main issue? Was it the pipes that come into the town and from the city to your house? Was it something else that we're not even looking at? Was it the farmland with chemicals they were using? It could be 49th environmental controls. Yeah. It could be something totally we're all missing. So I want to research. I want to map the entire city. I want to number every structure on every street, even the ones that do not no longer exist, that were taken out. Jeremy, that could be it, but why would Morgan County people be more susceptible to the ingredients in food than the rest of the nation? So, I mean, you got to rule. I get that not every cancer is caused from here. I 100% get that. Mom had brain and lung. She smoked. I kind of get that. Dad had prostate. My older brother's got prostate. Timmy had a brain tumor. Some of you guys don't know that. He had it removed right before COVID hit. And then was fine. Clean as a whistle. 3 years later, he's got cancer all over his body. All over his body. Now, did the cutting of the tumor out cause that? Who knows? But I want to look. I want to look if there's a pattern we can find. Here's my plan. You got to build a base. You got to gather information. And let's start. Let's say right here at this house, I want to go back from 1970 to now. How many families lived here? And we can track this. All of it's public record. And then you got to ask questions. Which families had issues with cancer and what types were they? If I can say 6 families lived here and all 6 of them had thyroid issues and brain issues and tumors, that's a pattern. That's something from here to the street or in the house or this roof. Is there asbestos? Something is causing that. And I don't care if we have to do every damn house in the city like that. This is my plan. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. That's why I made the page. And I tell people that. And we got to stay grounded. I'm not out to argue. I'm not out to fight. If you don't want to talk about it and tell us what happened, that's your right. It's privacy. I understand that. We'll go to the next. But we're going to get information. We're going to gather it. It could be the air. It could be the air. It could be the water. It could be 1,000 things, Jeremy. The water is easy to point at. But here's the point I made earlier on the page. Our dogs and cats and all of our other animals drank that same water. Is there a record of dogs and cats dying of cancer-related issues from 1980 on? I don't remember hearing about it. Do they track that? If they do, that's information we're going to want. So, I mean, there's so much to this. It's a massive, massive thing, and that's okay. We'll track every street. We'll build a base. We'll map the city, and then we'll go from there. Just in 2 days, I have over 150 people on that page, and every one of them have been affected by cancer, whether it be their self or someone in their family. That's crazy. That cannot be the norm. That should not be the norm. I just want it fixed. I don't care who did it. I don't care what caused it. I want it fixed. I want to point it, find it, present our information up the food chain and say, fix it. Here's what we found. You guys get paid the big bucks. Find out what the hell's going on and fix it. That's not much to ask. Someone asked me, I get asked, why are you doing this? And as I just said, but I said, I've buried 3 family members in about 12 years, and they've all died of cancer. And the question was in my mind from the first one, and now the third one's gone. I'm going to stay on it. I'm not going to. There's not going to be a lot of shows. I'm involved in that group. I'm with that group, the MECAP group. They're talking about the plumes. It's easy to point your finger at the plumes. But if it's just like I said, if it's the water, why isn't there a track record of pets dying? Because they drank the same water. Is it because we bathed in it also? They're tracking the plumes and the mitigation of the air and things like that. And I'm on that group, and they're doing a wonderful job. What's up, Brad? They're doing a wonderful job, and we will share information with them. There's members on my page that I created that are in the MECAP group, including myself. I'm not doing the same thing they're doing. We're starting at the very bottom and going to work our way up. And it's going to take time. I'm not looking for this to be done next week. It's going to take time, and we want to be thorough. We want to be transparent. That's why I'm on here tonight. And as I said on the page, when we find information out, I will post it on the page, or whoever's doing it will post it on the page. Sister had thyroid removed. We all lived in Monroe County. Yeah, and see, that might be the same issue down in Monroe too, Teresa. We don't even give our beloved fur babies. Well, I've had my water checked here, and it's fine. It's below standards, and I drink it. This green tea that I made, right out of the tap. Maybe it's the plastic bottles you're drinking water out of now. Go down that rabbit hole. Talk about thyroid. I don't know. There's so many variables. I got to read this. My husband had pancreas cancer, and they removed them. Told us that he still had cancer, and they didn't know. Yeah, you had posted that. That is heartbreaking, Leanna. So many. I could sit here all night, and we could go over story after story after story after story of people with cancer in this community. Make sense of that. It could have been his unsweetened. Keaton, I bought one and drank one. I don't know how the hell he drank. He drank those every day. Maybe it was. But the guy didn't drink alcohol, didn't smoke, exercise, was in decent shape for his age. And he hid it from us. He did hide it, all he had until the very end. Then they told us, in his spine, in his legs, in his blood, in his rectal, and his colon. So it was an uphill battle, and they didn't let us know. Pissed me off a little bit, but I understand it. But if you can make sense of the issues that we have in this community. Someone said, "Oh, this is probably going on all across the country." No, it's not. Not as few people as we have here. 100%, Jeremy. 100%. I almost guarantee the cure. Look at ivermectin. I'll probably get shut off for that. They're now coming out and saying ivermectin can fight forms of cancer and can fight COVID. But we weren't told that early on because the orange man said it was good for us. I'm on one tonight, folks. This could be the last show. You never know. But I get that it's a moneymaker. But they've already made their money on us. Let's find out the issues. Let's correct them. I don't give a damn who did them. Hello, Sarah and Desi. I don't care who did them, who caused them. Let's see if they're solved. They're already filtering the water. The water system is fine. I drink it. I've had it tested here. It's straight green tea. I'm on that kick. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'm going green tea now. Hey, I've been health benefiting all day. My fat butt was researching it. I'm going to try to get off coffee and go straight green tea. And so if you got green tea stuff, message me. Don't do it now, but message me. I just bought Kroger Winnings green tea. It looked cool. I'm going to try it. It tastes like hot dog water, but I'm going to get there. Anyway, I want to be part of the solution and to identify the problem. And if we can go street by street, case by case, and prove a history of this, maybe it's the pipes coming into our houses from the city. And it's going to take work. You're going to have to do the history of the house. And people are going to have to talk. I don't want to violate any laws. If you don't want to talk, so be it. We'll move to the next. We're going to track dates and times and people. And cases. 154 right now aren't afraid to tell me any and everything they have about what's going on with cancer. In 2 days. And that's not just 154. That's grandpas and grandmas that have passed and generations that have died of cancer. It's bad. It is unbelievably bad in this county. And in this city, it's horrible. What's causing it? There's no reason to lose the good people that we have in this community at the alarming rate that we have to cancer. And we can fix it. And all those folks on there, all those folks on that page, their situation is as important to them as my situation is as important to me, and we're all in the same boat. One other thing we need to look at, and this might shock some of you. This has been a bedroom town for years. We all worked out of county. Remember, we worked in factories in Indianapolis and Bloomington and Edgewood and or Columbus and Franklin. So is that something that it contributed to it? And hopefully we'll be able to track that, because that is one of the things we will ask. What was their main source of occupation for the most years prior to them getting cancer? We're going to gather information. And when we've gathered enough and we can start seeing patterns, then we'll move it up the food chain and let those that make the rules and decide A, B, and C, then they can make an assessment and go from there. But at least we're doing something. At least we're trying to do something. In my brother's honor, I can't just roll over and say, hey, Tim, you checked out. Too bad. You went first. Sorry. It's been eating at me since mom and dad. And I'm not the only one. Clearly, I'm not the only one. You don't create a page and get 154 people going to a research page. And instantly, I did a poll on there specifically because thyroid issues kept coming up. Everybody's talking thyroids. Last count I had, there was 20 people on that page that solely either had thyroid issues or have thyroid issues right now. That's not talking about ones that have deceased and other people in their family that they know. I said specifically check yes if it's you. So 20 people in about 5 hours have said yes, they have thyroid issues. That's pretty telling. What's causing that? Everybody, the water's an easy target. I get that. But the water as a whole has been fixed for some time. 21. There you go. Thank you. So is it connecting pipes to the house? Is it the pipes underneath our house? When's the last time this was replaced? That's stuff we're going to look at. Who knows? I mean, if it's a food thing or like Jeremy said earlier, wouldn't that be national? Wouldn't numbers be up all over the place? We're number one in the state. I mean, they eat the same food up at South Bend pretty much on a regular basis as we eat down here. They buy from the same Krogers or the same AMPs or IGAs or whatever we had growing up. So it's hard to nationalize it and say it's a national issue, not just us. If our numbers were back down, no, I would say no on that, Jeremy. This place doesn't have as many vegans. There's a lot of meat eaters around here. There's probably just as many vegans with cancer as there are without, or other forms of sickness. I would say that if we were in the middle of the pack, like everyone else, I could say, okay, it's a food issue, or it's a fluoride issue, or whatever. But we're not first. We're not first in population, but per capita, we're number one in cancer. That cannot be the case. Green tea. Wow. And I want to look into the pet thing too. So I want to get a hold of the Humane Society or someone that deals with that, because was there late 80s, early 90s, or through the 90s, were there pets dying of cancer in this area by in droves? Was that the main cause of death? Up until 2020, was that the main cause? Well, I would say 2015. I think they got it fixed around 2002, 2003, 2012. I'm getting my dates wrong. I don't have that information in front of me, but that's okay. What's up, Mike? That's something that if they kept the information, that would be very easy to track, because they have to drink the same water we did. The bottled water sensation didn't kick in the 90s. And most of us don't pour bottled water into our pets' bowls right out the tap. My mom had, right, eating taters, Keaton, exactly. Exactly, Heidi. Yes, Jeremy, that's a different situation. That's very similar to the one that the MECAP group is going over. Thank you, Crystal. And that is that's something the MECAP group is looking into. Some of the same people involved originally with the MECAP group are some of the same people that fought with the Franklin group, fought for the Franklin group. But again, Johnson County is not number one in the state. Morgan County is. And we have been since like 2017, 2018. What's up, Kyle? I want to read this. It's weird to see how it grows in spurts. Like for a while, everyone has cancer. Then, yes, lately it's colon cancer. Why is that? Why is that? I don't have these answers, and it's something that I want to look into. And it's not for me, because I'm closer to checkout time than the halfway point. You know what I mean? I got to go sometime, somehow, and I get that. But I got kids, and they may move back here at some point in time, and they may have kids. My neighbor has kids, and they're going to have kids, and the next generations, and the next generations. And if we don't do that, if we don't look at that and try to solve that, then we're just as big as shit bags as anybody else that just let it go by. So it's up to us, and it stops starting now. We have to look into it. We cannot turn to our negative eye to this anymore. We can't put a Band-Aid on it and walk away. We can't expect a group from Chicago and Purdue to come down and do research for us. There's enough intelligent people in this community that we can at least gather the basic information and say, here's what we got. What the hell's wrong with what the water, the air, the plants, the farm dust, or whatever, the roofing material? What's causing this in our community to take good people from us? Nobody dies of old age. How many on here can honestly say they had a family member lived here their entire life and died of old age? I bet you that's low. I bet you that's really low. Yes, I'm passionate about it. I don't want anybody to go through seeing a loved one get eaten alive by this crap. I don't want to see it. When my mom and dad passed, I wanted to look into it, and I knew I wasn't in the right frame of mind. They didn't have the social media like we did now. I wasn't in a good place in my life. But when Timmy passed, right, Jeremy, I agree with that. But then again, not everybody in the city lives in an asbestos laden house. Now, is it in the pipes? Is it in the air units? Who knows? That's something we can look into. The history of houses, when they were built, which families lived into them, moved into them. That's stuff that can easily be tracked. That is public record. And let's say the Joneses, they lived on Washington Street, and there's 7 generations or 4 generations from 1970 to now. And every generation had someone that had a brain tumor, thyroid, and lung cancer die in their family. That's a pattern. Then they can take the genetic test, and genetics says no, they're not. Okay, then what's going on in that structure? What's causing these good folks to lose their lives like this? It's not normal. And if we accept it as normal, we're wrong. Sorry, Jeff. You live here in town, Jeff? See, that's just, this stuff goes right through me. And I posted this too. I want to make this clear because somebody messaged me this. I'm not giving anybody false hope. We're not trying to cure anything. There's no way we could ever find that. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, Jeff. We're gathering information. That's what we're trying to do. That's all we're trying to do right now. We'll catch up on these. Where's that? I'm surprised Timmy ain't shown. Joe for at least. Man had mold in the basement, but that's typical. Typical with mold in the basements. Now that might be something to look at too, but not every house has a basement. Not every house has a mold. And the standards have changed. I forget what year it was, but it was fairly early on when you purchase a home. Yeah, when you purchase a home and it gets inspected, that is one of the checks they check for is mold. And so, like, I just bought my home 4 years ago here. If no mold at that point in time, if I resell it, that's one of the things they would check. You've lived here since '88. I was born and raised, as was Tim. We lived here. We born here, moved to Texas in '73. Moved back to Indiana in '74, '75. Not everyone. I would question. I would say there's a higher percentage that are that aren't. Lived St. Clair Street and then at Grassy Fork and then moved back to Grant Street. Well, I was in the military at that point in time, and then mom and dad a few years later had passed. My brother lived in a few locations, but mainly here in town, other than being in the military. A spattering of locations. There are a lot of variables that have to be looked at, and the first thing you got to do is build a base with the structure of the community. And say, okay, here's where we start. Pick a street and start on it. St. Clair Street, Washington Street, Morgan Street. Like I said, I've already got a room full of 150 plus people that already give me history of homes and relatives and this and that and the other. And it's eye-opening. It's frightening. So, I mean, we've already got information Anything that alters the cell's ability to reproduce can be, yep, radio waves, microwave. 100%, Mac. Lots of variables. Thousands of variables. But I mean, probably coming to get me, Jeremy. We still have to look into it. We got to look into it and at least make the effort. There's going to be patterns. There's already patterns developing just off the thyroid thing. I'd like to know a community our size that has that many people with thyroid issues already. I say we'd be hard pressed to find that. And this is just a slither of the folks in this community. Who knows? It could be every one of these individuals that have a brain tumor all used Roundup their entire life. Okay. That street, these individuals, they used their relatives are saying they were with Roundup all the time. My mom lived till she was 94, died of old age. There you go, Jane. However, my dad was born and raised here at 46. At 46, he was a city water. Keep bouncing on. I got to read it on my phone. I'm sorry. Let me see. However, my dad was born and raised here and died here at 46. Camp J was on the city water, even though we lived in Rowe County, just a line to some. He's been removed and he's currently cancer free. Thank God for that. Yes, that is a fact, Mac. I do understand that. Jeff, have you taken that test where it's hereditary? Because, hello, Ann. But did all your relatives live here in town? Hello, Paula. See, that is just, there's no reason for that to happen. None of it. From Jane, Jeff. I mean, those odds are astronomical. Boone County. Okay. Boone County was one of the worst counties in the state also. So we can only, the information, my fiance died of brain tumors age 34 in 1999. Susan from here, lived here. Hang on. Deanna, about LLC-Martinsville. I'm trying to keep up, guys. Keep sending, keep posting. It's good stuff. I feel the same. Serena, I went to school with Serena and I know her situation very well. I've been tracking programs for 30 years. I was in Rollmore County, White River Bottoms. No connection to any of my parents' cancers. That's where I was born and raised. I don't have any family here that have died of cancer. There you go, Mac. Yes, grew up here. Mac and you and I lived on basically the same street growing up. So maybe St. Clair wasn't an issue when we were kids. St. Clair area, I should say. South St. Clair to be exact. In the mid to late 70s, maybe St. Clair wasn't an issue. Maybe it was when we moved away to other areas of town. See, that's what we got to find out right there. That stuff's important to know. Mac and I ate the same dirt, fought the same kids, raised the same hell. We were a block from each other in the same area. His family, no one's passed away from cancer that lived here in town. My family now have 3 that were alive and well when we were at that age. Now, we moved one direction. I'm not for sure where his family moved. So that's stuff we can look at. That's good stuff right there. That's one block of our entire city. Yes. Already yelled at every one of us. That was our refuge, though. Candy, pop, carpenter store. They didn't have green tea back then. Woohoo! I don't know how you guys drink this all the time. It's going to be a marathon. If you want to help, if you want to actually help, then message me. Which air quality test, Jeremy? What are you talking about? It's you're going by their numbers. You're going by their chart and their numbers. So do I think the air is 100% pure as it should be? No. Can we ever, I mean, let's put it this way, after green tea, why? Corey, I'm just on it. It's not the crap Timmy. It's similar to the crap Timmy drank. This is Keurig tea, like coffee tea. You know what I mean? Um, I'll get to you in a minute, Jeremy. Both my mom and stepdad worked at Harmon Motor for years as well. See, that's good stuff to know, Mac. We'll get to that. The stuff that Purdue's doing, they're still doing that. They're doing the air sample quality, looking for what's the term? What's the term? Doggone it. I think that test works. My dad lived in town his entire life until they built a house in 1967. My water came from a well, and my mom was from Terre Haute, so she didn't drink it for years like Dad did. My dad did. And see, that's another thing. I was surprised. Um, I was surprised the amount of wells still in this community. And one of the things they did say that if you're on a well in this community, and this was a couple years ago, get off of it. Stop drinking it. It's not filtered. It's probably not good. Now, if you have it tested regularly, then that's your call. But doggone it. Hang on, y'all. I gotta go all the way back. I apologize. All right, now. Old man with the phone. Dangerous situation. All right. I think I'm back. All right. Mine's been. All right. I'm catching up here. Might have been tested recently. Is good. So is mine. Mine's tested good, and I'm comfortable with it. I'm drinking it right now. I've drank it for 56 years, so I'm very passionate about this right now, and I'm going to stay with it. I feel if I don't, I'm not doing my I'm not paying honor to my brother. No, Jeremy, I don't even want to address that with you. You might as well stop right there because that has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about on here tonight, and that'll get me even fired up in another direction. It's like you're intentionally trying now. You know, this is a pretty serious topic to me, and I don't want to go right there. As a matter of fact, we had our water professionally tested back in 2016. Only concern was hardness. We all replaced the plumbing. You see that, Mac? That's cool. That's one of the concerns that and the questions that I first had was the connection from the city to the house, which I think the individual homeowner controls. You can filter the water and everything else, but what about the pipes coming into your home? Is that an issue? Were they led? Thank you, Rhonda. He was a good brother, and he was a good husband, and he was a good father, and a good granddad. And he did a lot for this community. And I still get texts from people today saying he saved my life. I tell people, they're always like, you know a lot of people. I know a lot of people, but Tim knew everyone. And not only did he know everyone, he knew all about them, where they live, where they're going, their kids, their families. And it was amazing. He was a Rolodex for information for the county, the state, the DEA, lots of stuff. Tessa. Here, this is a biggie. Lived on South Street, Home Avenue. Mom had lung cancer. Right. Tess, I agree with you. Hello, Larry Ralph Sr. It's a hot topic. That is for sure. And like I said, there's no way this should be happening in this community at the level that it is. And if it's not affecting you right now, you're one of the lucky ones, because I don't know how it's not. It's everywhere across the board. In someone in your family at some point in time. And some families are decimated by it, as Jeff was showing. So if you want to get involved, join that group. Not when we go to start doing stuff, and I'm not expecting 150 or 200 people to show up at a meeting and do that. It's not going to work that way. Everyone knows that. There's going to be a handful of people selected. Let's go out and do some research, come back, and we're going to put people in spots that they're best used. Spreadsheet people, I can't do that crap, nor do I want to. Get someone that's good at that to handle that. We're going to gather information. You put it on there. Boom, we got it. We're going to need people to go out in the community, communicate, and talk to some people and try to get information from them if they'll do it. That's where you want your best people to come in. So there's going to be lots to do as moving forward. Lots to do moving forward. But if you just want to be in there and follow along, that's fine. I don't expect everybody to help. It's going to be a pain in the butt gathering information. I get that. But it's worth it to me, because if we don't do something now, 20 years from now, when I'm dead and gone, Kevin died of cancer too. What do you know? Is the next person going to, why didn't they ever look into this? Why didn't someone ever look into this from this community at this level? That's what we're going to do. And I'm not trying to make people mad. I'm not trying to point the blame at anybody. It's nothing political. These questions have already been thrown at me, by the way, the first night I posted. Someone suggested that I don't do it. It's going to bring a negative image to Martinsville. A negative image? The cancer per capita leader in the state, that's public record. It's out there. And if I was moving here, I'd say, hey, you guys are number one in the state in cancer. What are you doing to fix it? Oh, they're a research group out of Chicago and out of the other areas are looking into the plumes. I'm not knocking the city. I'm not knocking the city administration before them. This was all thrown on to people out of the blue. Lack of knowledge on it was the biggest reason. So let's fix that. Let's do some digging. Let's find out some information. What they're doing right now for the city-wise, I think is good. I think they're at least trying to stay on top of it. Yes, 100%, Ann. Keeps moving. If I somehow don't make it to the finish line, someone pick up the ball and carry it across the goal line. Don't let it die off. It needs to be known. It needs to be researched and looked at. I guarantee you we're going to find patterns. And that's when we can turn it over to somebody way up the food chain, higher up than me, and say, hey, here's what we got between 67 and 37. This is what we got. Can you help us? Can you pinpoint a problem? And can we fix it? So the next batch of artesians, Martinsvillians, Bucktowners don't have to go through this. Anyone out there going through this right now, I love you all, and I'm praying for every one of you. Timmy would be pissed that I'm doing it, yep, but he would be supporting me too. Not out in the open. Don't do that. You're going to piss some people off. When's your next meeting? That's what he would do in a lot of things that I would do. Yeah, see that? 1 out of every 3 people will get cancer. That's crazy. Love you guys. Cannot thank you enough for the support. It's overwhelming on that page. I get messages. There's Larry. Let's see what Larry has to say. Mr. Ralph. My sister lived in Poston Road across from the elementary for 10 years. She left Poston Road home about 5 years ago after living there. 10, she passed away almost a year after ago. Wow. Larry, I did not know that, buddy. See that stuff? There's no reason for this. And I get that not every cancer death in this community is going to be not self-inflicted or not something we've done in our life. Smoked cigarettes our entire life, or drank alcohol, or worked at the nuclear factory or something like that. Some cancers are related to things like that, and I get that. But not at the level that we're having in this community right now. Thank you, sir. Love you guys, Larry. I'm telling you, that guy right there is one of the better human beings you'd ever meet in your life. And I'm blessed to know him. That is a snapshot of many families in this community right there, what Larry posted, including myself. It's heartbreaking. And there's some very passionate people involved. I'm not the first group that has tried to do this. There's another group out there that started something similar to this a few years ago. I am going to get in contact with her. She's not on Facebook anymore. But I'm going to pick her brain, and it's all learning to me on what's the best avenue to do this and go after it. And it's like I said, it's information gathering. It's what we have to do first. Nobody else is. Got to start somewhere. Anyone else want to add to questions? I hope this got shared to the page. I have to take the Porch Time page and friend that page, and then that page has to friend the Porch Time page, and then one has to be admin the other, and before it'll allow me to share via the actual feed from here. I know it's crazy. It's a Facebook thing. Okay, I wasn't for sure. That's why I hadn't heard from you. So I was like, you know what? I think I can do it on my phone, and I did. Thanks, Corey. Everybody on that page, thank you that are on there. Thank you for joining. We make it a smaller group of individuals, like I said, that are going to go out and actually do some digging. I don't expect everyone to. 150 of us would be overwhelming. I would lose my mind. We can have a town meeting. I'm good with that. Someone suggested that. I can also go live like this now and share information that we've found through that group and to that group. So it's a marathon, though. Don't think that next week I'm going to pop up and say, hey, look what I found. That's not going to happen. We all have our lives going on right now. But it's just something we're pushing forward slowly. It's holiday season, lots going on, and I get that. I don't expect anyone to drop what they're doing and go count houses and addresses down Morgan Street. I'm going to do that as I go along and write them on paper and try to hit like east. I was thinking north-south streets first, and I don't want to miss any. And I want to look at the ones that were knocked down, destroyed, or taken away also in general. Valid point. Tuesday night, I believe, Keaton. Rest in peace, the general. It's our community, guys. I grew up here. Love this area. A giant map, but then you still would have to go through Alley, and then like I can get on Facebook, I can get on Google Maps and look at the communities and write it out. But I physically want to go and look at addresses. That'll tell you, is the house open? Is the house even still built? Is it condemned? Has it lived in? Has it been lived in for a while? And move on. And it only like in one night I could probably drive down 5 or 6 streets and get addresses. One afternoon, I should say. I don't mind that. I have a co-pilot and sit them write them down. Boom, 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 on to the next one. Then you put that on a spreadsheet. Then you track families that live there if we can get that information. A lot of it's public. You can do that. Tax records are, you know what? There's ways you can find things out without asking about how to find them out that are legal and are public record. And it helps to know people in the real estate game. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're looking to do. Right there. And and then there's other things that we have to break off and do. And newer builds, I'd say within 2000, you can write them down from 2000 to there's probably, you can look at the codes and say, okay, these were probably put in and up to code at this point in time. Boom. Everything after a certain date, then you're going to have to ask, hey, when was the last time the piping from the city street to the house was changed? Oh, it was changed in 80. Oh, look, 70 through 79, 6 members of that family had brain cancer or lung cancer or thyroid issues. Was it the water? Was it the plumbing? Because from 80 on, family still lived there. Other family members moved in and nobody got it. That's stuff we can look at. That'll be a question. That'll be the toughie. And that's the sad thing about our community. It's all rentals right now. But I guess I'm hoping on rentals you can, seems like if they're renting here in town, they're staying in town. You know what I mean? And if you can track down renter A, how long you been living there? 3 years. Where you lived before that? Apartment C over here. Where did you move from there? Apartment F from over there. Okay, cool. So then you've got history of all 3 or 4 places you can log and put down. Boom, boom, boom. And not going to get them all. You know that as well as me. We're not going to get 100%, but we can get as many as we can. Yeah, that's sad anymore, Heather. Anyway, lots of information to be gathered. I know we're not going to get anywhere above 90%. I'd like to get 60 to 70% and see what we can determine from there. But, you know, just like a scenario was, if you get one renter, they've probably rented at 3 or 4 different locations in town, and you can track dates. Okay, good. You lived here, 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 and here. It takes care of that time frame for that one structure, this structure, that structure. Put it in the spreadsheet. Give it to the people doing the spreadsheets. Put it in there. Boom. Then we got it. I know it's a big task. I'm up to it. I got nothing else to do now, but wait till checkout time. And I think I don't know. Maybe this is why I was pushed to do this. Maybe it all happened for a reason. I don't know. Maybe we're going to find out that we got some wind blowing off of some farm using chemicals 20 years ago that wasn't supposed to happen, and it contaminated the soil, the air, the water, and everything, the houses, the whole 9 yards. I am curious about the pets. They drink the same water from about 80 to 2005. Are those records kept? Do we have a big push of animals dying of cancer during that period? Are there animals in our area now that have cancer-related sicknesses? That's a big telltale right there to me. Is everybody points at water? Okay. That'd be nice. Give me. I can't go that route. I can't dress up anymore, Corey. I was going to say, you let me stuff my shirt and walk around like Joey Roberts, but somebody be offended by that. Dog died of cancer. There you go, Jason. When did that happen? And is that prevalent in your breed of dog? That's stuff we have to look at. Can't rule it out, but that's the first I've seen of that, and that's interesting. That's stuff we will want to look at, because if there is a massive death rate of pets in this community during this same time frame, okay, interesting. That'll be it. That'll be something to look at. All right, guys, I've been rattling on here for an hour. I am passionate about it. You can see. I'm not going to let it go. I'm not going to go away with it. I'm going to stay with it. And I'm going to keep digging. And slowly but surely, we'll gather the information. It may take months. It may take years. But I promise to stay on it. I owe that to my mom, my dad, and my brother. And anybody else that's lost a loved one from this community. As I said, if we don't do it now and put a stop to it, at least find the issue, find out what went on, then nobody ever will. Love you guys. I appreciate your time. Thank you for the support. Join the page if you want to follow along. If you want to be involved heavily, message me. And we will go from there. Tomorrow's Monday. It's only 9 o'clock. It feels like midnight. This would be one of these nights when you try to go to bed and you can't, and then it's 2 or 3 in the morning, and then you got to get up, and you're like, oh boy. Hello, Mama Baker. I'm just on here having fun. Green tea. If anybody got any good recipes about green tea or new variety of type of green tea that you like, let me know. This Keurig Twinnings version, a bit rough. There you go. There's the group. That a boy, Corey. Beth made me put all the apostrophes in there. I'm just saying. Timmy would be proud of me drinking the green tea. All right, guys. Love you. I got shows this week. I forget. I was supposed to have a show tonight. Individual had to cancel. So, love you guys. We will see you soon.